What's up, honeys? It's KingBritneyChanel and I'm back with another video. So it appears that Joy, honey, is free as a bird. Honey, she is out and about after the whole tiff with Azri. I'm gonna get into my commentary on this, but before we do, definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And let's get into my commentary on this. Alright, y'all, so if you were hiding under a rock yesterday, honey, you missed the whole situation between Azri and Joy. Apparently it was an appointed day for them to get their things out of Kay's condo, and they both were allowed people to be with them to get their things out of that condo, and it just went totally left. Now, among some things that happened there was somebody named Kimberly that accompanied Joy. Apparently Azri is like, I don't know who this person is, I'm not gonna have a stranger walking through this place like that. Somebody could easily just have came in and just be taking little trinkets and stuff and be trying to sell it on eBay or something like that. So she like, who is this? Well, it's like, cool. She was like, cool, if you're with Joy, have Joy come up here with you so that, the stuff could be sorted out, right? At that point, it goes left because Joy is uncomfortable that there are men in the residence, and y'all know how Kay ain't feeling, men, being around, according to her. So she goes off, literally postal, and the whole situation just puts Azri in a position where she had to defend herself, and then La Policia was called, and basically Azri decided that she was gonna put paperwork on Joy. Joy basically had to go in the jam last night, and now she out. But some interesting things happened, honey, when Azri was defending herself. She basically revealed that Joy was messing with her, darling, when she was 17. Now, a lot of y'all was like, oh, is that gonna be, is Joy gonna have to go in? And, people thought like paperwork and stuff was gonna come down on her or whatever. I personally think, and this is just my opinion, I don't really think that that's something new, that the FED probably already has that intelligence about that. Because if you think about it, this has been a repeated pattern. You had Lisa talking about this before. You've had a lot of people talking about this before. So I feel like what we were seeing, you got to think about it. Like, these were two people that were around each other. They were competing for Kay's affection. So one person has come to the realization that, okay, maybe I wasn't as special as I thought I was. You feel what I'm saying? And she is special, to, people that support her, her family. But to this guy, who lied to her, who she thought she was in love with, I'm talking about Azri, she's finding out and having an emotional moment from what we are seeing that it was all a lie. It was all a scheme. You get what I'm saying? So this, young woman who, before she got there, she was very, according to her family, according to her dad, Angelo, she was very emotionally fragile in a situation. And then we have her, in this tiff with Joy, who Joy, honey, is gone in a mental type of situation. Spiritually, she has went left, but that is because of the activity, the dark activity that I personally believe that Kay had them doing, different I feel like covenant type of things and different things that were introduced, and that caused some people to go left. So she gonna need intense, number one, the hand of Yahweh got to be put on that. You got to give that to the Most High God. And also intensive counseling and therapy. That's Joy's situation. I feel like as Ree, while we're looking at her, she's having an emotional moment to where she's realizing that the person who she thought she loves lied to her all this time. You know how men lie and they make it seem, not all men, but you know how men will make it seem like you was the one, you was special, and then all the while, you know, it's all these other women that you probably had no idea about. He probably was telling you that they were lying, and you know, you're the one for me, girl. And it just all comes, you know, when you start, the lies start crumbling, it all starts to pop out. So I think what we're seeing, well, what we saw from the video is as Ree realizing that, and then Joy just trying to prove her loyalty for the guy who she thinks is her man. And basically what we're seeing is as Ree is yelling out those things, it's because hurt people want to hurt other people. So she was hurt by, you know, Robbie, right? Because he's a liar. He's been doing all this stuff. He made her feel like she was the one special, the favorite, everything. And she was lied to. You know, it's the same as the rest of the girls in this situation and everybody. And it's like what she's yelling out, she now wants to, you know, she's hurt. She wants to target Joy because she's hurt. So the way to get her is to say that about her, you know, to try to get her jammed up because she's hurting from the Robbie situation. Because ultimately the person that's responsible for all of this is Kay in this whole situation. He's responsible for all of this, right? He's responsible. And honestly, when I heard her say it, I was kind of like, wow. But it just kind of confirmed that what other people were already saying, like Lisa and the other young women in this situation from the series. What they were saying is that he was having them do those type of 3 situations or love triangle situations in the first place. So I don't think that that's new intelligence to the FED. I think that she was hurt and wanted to blurt that out. But also on the back end of that, it's like we're not gonna just believe that Joy was the only individual participating in those type of situations, okay? Kay is a real weird individual and he is into some strange situations. So anybody that is surrounding him, he's definitely going to make you prove your loyalty to him, and you have to get your hands dirty to do that. So, you know, I'm not all shocked by what she said, because I'm sure on the other side people could say, you know, something about, you know, Asri as well. But the bottom line is, it's no need to blame either one of these 2 beautiful young women. We need to be putting the blame on the person that's responsible for all of this, and that is Kay. Because, you know, the manipulation, okay, he's clear, and he's high level. He's high level when it comes to this, I would say, dark activity, okay? This dude, you know, we've heard talks about, you know, different covenants and different things that are negative in nature. That's what I'll say. Or, you know, maybe evil in nature and all of the rest of that stuff. That's what I'll say. I'm not really going to get into that because this is not that type of channel. But you could clearly see from the way I put pictures of the way that Joy's face was looking. And honey, that looks like an entity to me. You know, manifesting. Because that's why she was coming at Asri in the way. Because people got to realize, we not warring against, you know, flesh and blood. We warring against, you know, principalities that's in high places. So I just hope that Asri is not blaming Joy necessarily for that, because I don't believe that that's Joy anymore. That's just me and my personal opinion. I think that, you know, through time of her being manipulated, because manipulation is a form of, you know, W-craft. Okay, y'all know what kind of craft that is. Manipulation is a form of that. So over time, the more and more you allow yourself to be in agreement with that stuff starts to take over, and then you end up with like an entity, And that, to me, her face, the way that she lunged at Asri, I was like, I was like, Lord, I'm glad it was people there to kind of help Asri, because which we got to realize is that girl, she gonna need intensive, like I said, a hand of Yahweh got to get her. You got to get that to the Most High God, because that girl, she gonna need intensive counseling and intensive everything after dealing with this dude. Now let's talk about Joy being out and about and what they said that what was the paperwork that was put on Joy. Okay, and please understand I'm paraphrasing here. Okay, so I am on TMZ right now, and it says that Kay's girlfriend Joy was basically, she was released, okay, after that whole scuffle with girlfriend Asri. And basically at 10:16 a.m. Pacific time, 1/9, Joy Sella was basically released with a promise to appear at her next gathering date on January 23rd. So she gonna have to go make an appearance January the 23rd. Now, everybody just, it seemed like when situations happen, everybody kind of goes to the worst case scenario. But honestly, this is just my opinion on it. I personally think that, if worst come to worst, you feel me, it could be negative if she doesn't just, wake up from what the situation that she's in, or the trance that she's in right now. She don't wake up from that, and she was a participant in stuff, and she don't get representation, she gonna be jammed up. That's worse, if worst come to worst, right? But on the lighter end, the way that some of these conservative judges are, and from what we saw, I'm gonna tell, and this is just me, saying from what a conservative old man would say, it looked like a cat fight to me over a man. And that, that's not my view, but I already know how those conservative old men are, the way that they look at that. Women are looked at in a different type of way. Stuff that's serious to us is not necessarily viewed as serious to some of these men in high positions. And because it kind of looked like, if you was a person who you really, wasn't really looking at this from a perspective, or a person that's just like, get this cat fight out of here. Listen, you need to appear. I'm going to put you on paperwork, show up to pick up this trash on the side of the highway, and keep it moving. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, with worst come to worst, it could be very, they could decide they want to add other stuff and try to, finesse, and how they do to try to get the money up out of folks. So, it could either go two ways. This is, to me, up in the air. But this is what they're saying. So, she surrendered to CPD late Wednesday, in the evening, at night. And basically, it was, she was booked for, I'm going to say, a M battery for the incidents at the condo. And she has to face a judge Thursday who will lay out the ground rules for her to, to be scotched, to be free. Okay. It says she will, face the chargee, at the gathering on February the 6th. So I just laid out. So she got a promise to appear January 23rd, and then she has to face, this whole this MB at the gathering on February 6th as well. So basically, what La Policia is telling TMZ is that Asri claims she was kind of clocked in the face with a closed fist, and she basically had to go to get treated for redness and the swelling of her eye. Okay, and then at around 5 p.m. Pacific time, they kind of had spoke to Joy's parents, And it was crazy, like, how people was coming for these folks. Like, oh, they always want to be in front of the camera. Like, okay, if they do want to be in front of the camera or whatever, that may be one thing. But who's not going to say something about their daughter being in a situation like this? Like, people just need to stop. Situations that you should speak on, you get a pass for that. But I mean, it's one thing clout chasing, and it's one thing speaking speaking out to try to protect your daughter. You feel what I'm saying? Because that was what we saw. That was very very interesting what we saw. It was very sad to watch, and it was very excuse me, y'all. Let me get my drink real quick. Yeah, so it's very sad to watch. And, you know, if you was a parent seeing your child go through that, you would be like, wow, you know, I need to get her some representation, figure out what I need to do, what's the best course of action. And you definitely going to want to defend your daughter, especially because of how, you know, as Reed pointing the finger at her and then filming it for live stream. Because when you watch the video of Tim and them, I call it, of Tim and his wife, okay? Tim and fam. Him and his wife, they're talking to TMZ, and Tim is basically, you know, he was saying that he put the blame on Kay in this situation. Because honestly, if you looking at the girl Joy, that's not their daughter that they know and love. That's not, I mean, to me, that's not Joy talking anymore. Joy probably been gone for some time now, and she got to go through intensive therapy to get back. And you know, it's hard to get people back from that place, you know. So I don't think people should judge her for what we seen on the thing. And basically Tim was saying that he kind of felt like it was sketch that was said on the live stream, because I mean, you know, lending to that point, I think that as Reed just said that because she was in an emotional state at that time. Because anybody, you know, watching with common sense would have to know that Kay had all of them folks in there doing something, okay? That's how you prove the loyalty. That's how he was able to trust you. But it gets good, y'all. So just hang, put your seatbelts on. Hang in there, y'all. We getting to the point that I want to get to. So Tim says that he's placing the blame for that situation squarely on Kay. And basically, Joy's dad says he's still not in contact with his daughter and calls the footage sketchy. So at 1:12 p.m. Pacific time, right? Kay's counsel, Steve, honey, good old Steve. Steve says, and you know, they say he doesn't seem to be sweating as Reed's claims of, you know, her being not, you know, at an age of consent, because he told them that he has a statement written by Asri that she provided to him voluntarily after Robbie was already in the lockup in the jam, and said that she has never had that type of situation with him when she was not at an age to consent. So that is wild. And then he continues, as far as this little cat fight, it is clear that it was staged to try to boost social media popularity. I told y'all that that's how they was going to make that situation seem, didn't I? And I didn't even read this article before I got on here to talk to y'all. I said, honey, them old conservatives is going to be like, especially with two original girls over this dude, they going to scoot it and boot it right on up out of there. They going to be like, this is a cat fight over a man. And as far as that, it's kind of like with the situation with her pointing a finger at Joy, it's going to, you know, the closer and closer we get to the trial situation in the gathering, stuff gonna start coming out like the floodgate, and it could come out from all sides, all different people. Honey, he gonna have some stuff that he gonna put out on folks and stuff when it comes to the trial situation. So, a lot of people gonna start pointing that finger, but just keep in mind that Kay is responsible for all this foolishness. I'm telling you. Okay, so as far as the part, do y'all feel like this was to boost her social media influence? I personally don't think so. I don't think that Asri would have needed to do that, because if she would have said that she wanted to tell her story, she could have boosted her social media influence. Who want to end up with a little bump on the top of their head and going through all that? And the way that she was crying, I don't think so. I think that was very real what we saw. I feel like she was coming to the realization that dude was lying to her, and that if things came to blows, because it's like a rivalry, and then one person realized the truth, the other person still in a mindset. Y'all gotta think about it. Joy's mindset was still like the dude was home somewhere, like, oh, this is his house. Like, no, y'all got to move up out of there. Like, that's not his house any longer. And I was wondering why they didn't get the Grammys and stuff moved up out of there before. So Steve, honey, trying to, like I said, they was gonna do, probably it was gonna chop that up to it was a situation that was like they gonna call it like a little scuffle between two women over a dude. You know how people like to downplay. And basically they give you the whole play-by-play of what happened. And it's just real interesting, y'all, this whole situation. So basically, even I am on HollywoodReporter.com, and they're saying that the CPD were called basically to the condo after, an argument arose on Wednesday afternoon between Asri and Joy, the two women who have been linked to, Kay, before he was taken into the, FED situation. She, being Joy, was later, y'all know, she got that battery on her. So they say that La Policia on Wednesday were looking into the incident after responding to a call of, y'all know, a scuffle in progress inside the residence involving two females. And they give the little the address of where this is at, and it says upon arrival, the La Policia spoke with Asri, who relayed that she and Joy were engaged in a little they was going back and forth basically, like, and then the situation went left, like I told y'all, and that's when Joy, they say, struck her in the face. And she was wild out. And I'm thinking about it. I'm wondering if that's maybe what Kay was in there doing to Joy with that cell phone. Because that type of behavior, it was like we was looking at what could have been happening to Joy all these years and different women all these years. Because that behavior is learned. Like, that type of behavior, a person, it happens to you, and then that behavior, you start to, if you don't get up out of there, you start to replicate and try to, repeat that type of behavior yourself. It's like a cycle. So they say they were, engaged in a whole little scuffle, and they were separated by unknown individuals at the scene. So they go on to say that Joy fled and was not, she wasn't in basically their care. And that Asri ended up going to get like treatment with the whole situation. They say later, they go over the stories again. Joy, turned herself in, and that's when everything went down with that. And I read to y'all what was going on. So this is very interesting, y'all. I kind of think that people is cap saying that this girl Asri did this because of social media. I don't think that girl did that for no social media influence. Because, I mean, she doesn't need to do that. I'm sure that any media outlet or anybody would have wanted to hear from her, and they would pay her big time money to hear from her. The way she was crying in that apartment and saying that she wanted to break up them Grammys, and she was like this in, and it's kind of, she was sounding like a woman that found out that her man was cheating. Y'all know, like, she was sitting there looking like Angela Bassett, wanting to set a car on fire, honey. That's wait until they sell type moments. That's how she was looking, honey. Hair all flustered, and sitting there talking about, hand to these Grammys before I break them up. It's like you find out your man is cheating on you or something, or lying to you. You got the bleach or whatever. You ready to put his clothes outside the front of the yard and all of that. So I just don't think that she would have put herself in a position to be in no scuffle and then post that online as a way to get followers. Like, she could have just, you know, been her everyday self and just, you know, been talking about her, telling her story, or just wait until my story drops and it would have got, you know, attention of people. So that letter that Steve claimed he got at his office is gonna be real interesting on how this is gonna go. So I don't know, honey. You know, you gonna have people perceive this, you know, one or two ways. You gonna have people that's gonna be ignorant and, you know, receive it that way. You're gonna have people say that it was all a setup for money, the way they've been saying it. You're gonna have people saying women scorned. And you're gonna have people, you know, like us that's on this channel, where we could see past the foolishness. This young lady was fragile. She met a person, like most of these women, who were in vulnerable stages of their life. And when you're vulnerable, you are very susceptible to people that are looking to, you know, take advantage of that vulnerability. So that's what I feel about this whole situation. Joy, she gonna have to you know, go to that appearance and then deal with that whole situation on February the 6th. So that's gonna be real interesting to see what happened with that. Hopefully this is a wake-up call to her, so that she realizes, you know, if something does happen with that, hopefully it's a wake-up call for her, so that she realizes that you playing with this individual, Kay, that's gonna get you jammed up. It's gonna get you jammed up, and you are only 24, meaning that you have so much time in your life. Like, I know a lot of people be thinking that they first love is gonna be the love that they just love for like the rest of their life, and it's like, that's so, I mean, that's something that happens to young women. But do not allow this dude who is 50 something years old to ruin the rest of your life. Like, he is sitting tight where he's at, because he has to answer for things that he chose to do. And he had his whole 20s where he was out and about doing his thing, and you should have your whole 20s and your whole life ahead of you to do, and you know, make decisions for yourself. Like, and it's just unfortunate. So now she got something on her paperwork, on her paper trail, on her rap and, you know, fooling with this dude, this clown, because she feels like she's in love with the dude. She feels like she's in love. She feels like, you know, this dude probably cares about her, and he doesn't. Like, he doesn't. I don't believe he ever cared about any of these women. I think it was just about, you know, whose credit I can put an apartment in their name, who can I use, who can I feed this part of me that needs to be fed, because it happened, well, it grew from a place in life that wasn't necessarily a good place. And I think that's what it was. It's like, when you're a person that does negativity, or you have that a dark side to you, you have to feed that. And it's not about people being special or you even loving people. It's just that you need to fuel that. Just like if you're a positive person, you would have to fuel yourself with positivity. It's the same thing. So with him, I think it's just the fact of the matter that, you know, he's been doing this. I gave y'all 30 years. He been doing this. Because he has to fuel from 1991 until 2019, 2020, we are still hearing about this man and claims being made against this man. So it's clear that it was nobody that was really special to him. These young women, they need to know that they are special in life and they are valuable to Yahweh, the Most High God. You are very valuable. But you cannot cast your pearls amongst swine. You cannot, let people try to tear you down and to use you and to just make you feel a way about yourself that's, anything other than what Yahweh says that you are. And, we are more than conquerors, through Yeshua HaMashiach that strengthens us, honey. And that's just how I feel about that. Like, I don't let no clown, loser individual make you feel down or like you not worth anything. And don't even try to go against your sisters just to try to compete for nobody like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, don't do it to yourself. This dude is not a man that any woman should trust like that. This dude was a dude that had issues. He got deep-rooted issues. And he just is a user to fuel those deep-rooted issues. That's it. People looked up to him and admired him, and he was once on top, and now he's reduced to cardboard boxes. And that's a sad state of affairs, folks. Sad state of affairs. What are y'all's thoughts on this whole situation with Joy being out and about and having to appear? And also what Steve is saying about Azri, do y'all feel like she did it all for the clout and all for a social media presence? Leave your thoughts and comments about this down below. It's KingBritneyChanel. See y'all soon on the next video. Hey honeys, thank you for watching my video, and if you haven't, definitely make sure you check out my Teespring, KingBritneyChanel Couture, where you can find my latest merch. I upload a lot of new designs frequently, so definitely make sure you check it out. We have mugs, we have wall tapestries, canvas art, pillows, fleece blankets, apparel, and so much more. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all on my next video.